analyst desk was saying. But we are about to get into picks and bans, ladies and gentlemen, for LMS and GPL in this 5v5. So let's see what they have for us. Bans coming through thick and fast. Nautilus and Syndra will start this one off.
And I really liked watching the LMS team. The coordination, specifically around TPs, is what I called out in some of their earlier games. And just in general, the fact that they play very well as a team. They are a very stacked lineup, as Deficio was speaking about. And they love running the double teleport. You know, EU fans obviously very familiar with that back to the Fnatic days, but they're very good at playing around the map. The Katarina pick was one that, okay, didn't win against the LCK squad, but was very powerful. For now, it's left available.
Exactly, it's left available, but the Cassiopeia ban also means that Ryze is on the table. So now you have to pick between those two or leave them both up.
And we have the next couple bands coming through here will be Rengar and Cassiopeia finishing off LMS, as you were alluding to there. Zirene and LeBlanc and Poppy will finish off GPL's phase of banning. So that has left up a bunch for the mid lane, including the Ryze, which will be first picked by LMS.
Yeah. Interesting to see they take the Ryze over the Katarina when they took the Katarina and accepted the Ryze matchup before. So perhaps learning from experience on the Rift. A lot of power left over. I like the fact that GPL didn't try to pinch, didn't ban one and just give up either the Katarina or Ryze. They'll have their answer. We'll see if Optimus is fancying the Katarina, though, because I imagine, given the fact that it was a very recent change, probably not everyone is confident on their Katarina coming into this event.
Yeah, Maple, though, for sure, very confident on.
Yes.
We saw him on earlier, but he still goes to the Ryze and values that power, since there isn't a whole lot left that would counter him with the Cassiopeia and LeBlanc, as well as the Syndra off the table.
Almost feels like he's taking two things away from Optimus, because maybe he doesn't know how to play that Katarina. We know Maple can, and then it's like, what left does he have, really, for this next pick? What is for certain, though, is the brand coming out alongside the Lee Sin there for Levi, but Brand maybe taking a leaf out of Liquid's book here.
Yeah, wildcard teams, Brand, apparently it's just going to come out here. Maybe it is the pick that they want to play up against the Ryze. I'm unsure. Maybe it's support, but hey.
Feels like we're getting back to the Season 1, Season 2 meta of Annie's OP. Brand is the counter pick, so I mean, I just can't see it. I think it's probably going to be support, but we've seen Flex pick supports. It was the Nautilus, a bit more prototypical around the top and support role, but wait and see. We'll wait and see on the side of the GPL.
We will, and LMS is back over to their side of the court for the next two pickups. They have around 20 seconds remaining before they have to lock these in. Lots still left on the table for them. They have picked up Ryze, which will be their mid laner, so could pretty much go anywhere from here. We are just waiting 10 more seconds on the clock, Zirene.
I think that these are the two picks that would get locked in here with the Graves and the Ezreal, because you don't want to pick your top laner here. I feel as though with the Poppy and the Nautilus off the table, the Maokai jumps up in terms of priority, but there are a lot of things that can play really well into a Maokai. You can even go and play Echo over again, right? Or even just change your picks up and have the Vayne. So I assume you last pick your top laner here if you are the GPL.
And BB going to be once again on his trademark Ezreal, but it does open up a pretty safe laning phase for the Vayne, and they could last pick a support or deal with the fact that it'll be Brand swap. I don't really fancy Brand Vayne as a duel, and that sounds super risky. Obviously high risk, high reward, but don't know if you want to go for that. So maybe it's just a hover to show it off. But in terms of the 1v1 or just how the Ezreal lane works, Vayne was always seen as a pretty comfortable matchup into the Ezreal.
Yeah, very passable laning phase. I do think you would go for it here. Yep, Celebrity, he is going to pick it up right there. And the Twisted Fate for Optimus, a little interesting. He'll have to try to infect those side lanes, but once again, last picking that top laner. Very important here for GPL. You don't want to give Ziv a good matchup.
If it was solo queue, there'd be the outside chance of the Brand top. You do actually see it sometimes. If you see a melee matchup, he can just kind of E and annoy you with all the rest. I've felt the brunt of it, so I've been there, but we have to expect it's going to be a Brand. I don't even know if we've ever seen a competitive game of Brand Vayne as a duo.
The brain lane?
The brain lane?
You nailed it.
That's a good one.
What's the pinky in the story, though?
We were both going there. We went at different angles there, Papasmithy.
I was going to go, it's the brain and the bronze, but, different pronunciation on that second word.
There you go. There we go. We'll get into it as we get into game as well. But GPL, one pick remaining on their side. LMS, thinking how they want to respond to this brain lane.
I think it's just safety. I mean, Ezreal obviously a very safe choice. Ryze also. The Maokai we were alluding to. Maybe locked in, because they just, I think at this point, they're very unsure about what's going on.
It's Kennen support. They're playing a Kennen support alongside the Ezreal here, so they have something that can auto-attack, lock down, double range lane to actually deal with it. Really interesting. I guess they don't want to play like a Zyra into the Brand or anything like that, but it is going to be the Maokai for Ziv as well, which, he's such a carry top laner. It's kind of a shame, but
I mean, it's not something you see every day coming into the bot lane. Ezreal, Kennen up against Brand Vayne. We'd also had the Maokai lock in there for Ziv as well in that top lane, so who will be facing off there, and that means that the GPL will have that quote-unquote counter pick for the top lane.
And they're going to have
what they want to lock in.
And it's complete freedom, right? Maokai, basically anything can lane into Maokai, much like in the mid lane when Morgana was the thing, you could basically lane anything. So it could be a carry, and the Fiora is one to consider.
QTV, he's known for wanting to play things that split push, that actually fight you like Jax, Aurelia, Fiora. These are really in his wheelhouse. Maybe a Yorick, you know, crossing my fingers, but
Yeah, haven't seen too much
locked
of that.
in.
There it is.
There is the Fiora finally being locked in there from the GPL, and that will be going to QTV. So that pretty much hits the nail on the head, as you were just saying, and looking for that split push on the side lane.
I mean, this looks like the most feast or famine team you could ever hope for on the side of the GPL. Split pushing, duelist in Fiora. Lee Sin is still a very normal jungler, but one can get in ahead. Twist of Fate, and then Vayne Brand. I mean, this either goes spectacularly well or abysmal for GPL.
Or they're just like, just get one person fed. Somebody get fed. We talked about they're playing individually well,
Sure,
but
but
not
like,
so much as a team. Every man for himself.
But if that's like an obvious strategy, the other two lanes are going to get pounded, Zirene. Like, this is really, really tricky to pull off. If you super outskill your opponents, sure, you can make this work. But in this situation where we're kind of expecting LMS to be of at least a slightly higher caliber, this is a gauntlet, let's say.
I'm going to change my mind here. It is Maokai support, not Maokai top. Albus is actually taking the Kennen to the top lane. This is a really interesting matchup, and it's kind of strange because Kennen can never actually get counter-stunned by Fiora. Fiora's riposte actually waits for a stun to come through and then will stun you. But Kennen only stuns on the application of damage, which then Fiora negates. So she doesn't apply, or Kennen does not apply a third mark, does not get a stun during Fiora's riposte ever, so she can never counter stun. So if Kennen actually wins that matchup at that point, but early on it is very painful.
Definitely something to keep an eye on as we get into game there, Zirene. But we have the full lineups, the every man for himself composition from hashtag Firewin. Of course, the GPL facing down the LMS, who are hashtag Icewin if you want to get your vote in on Twitter. Vote at LoL Esports, show your support, see which team can bring it home, because it will be the uphill battle here for the GPL lineup. It's not going to be an easy one, but they have the tools to possibly make this happen.
Yeah, and the more I'm thinking about this, though, in the bottom lane, the brain lane versus, I don't have a clever name for this one. I don't know. Ezreal Maokai.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Yeah, Easy Kai, whatever.
Easy tree.
Nope, not trying too hard now. Still, Treezy. There you go. It's Treezy. It's the Treezy lane. But the Maokai, all you have to do is point and click on the Vayne, keep her locked up. Even if she goes invisible, you know exactly where she is. You'll travel right to it, and then her invisibility will come off at the last second.
And while it's been a long time since there's been the support Maokai, actually way back when I was casting LPL back in spring of 2015, Allure, one of the supports that OMG had at the time, would run support Maokai very consistently with Uzi as AD carry as the lineup went. I think it was undefeated. He eventually transitioned out of the roster, but it is something that has been messed around with in competitive play. You know, the kit does lend itself to being a support, but it's optimistic, you'd have to say.
I do want to see what happens here, right? Because it's optimistic to think that he can W onto the Vayne, and then the ganks come through from Karsa or whoever, but also, BB, it lines up a Q and an Ezreal ultimate if you time it at the same time and you have that synergy.
Is it optimistic for Optimus to take the TF into mid lane, though, up against the Ryze here? Because we were like, oh, what's he going to pick? Because Ryze was taken away. Does he have the Katarina? And then we've got him actually picking the TF here, looking to affect those side lanes. But it's worth mentioning that Maple, once again, bringing out the Colossus.
No, not once again. He stole it from Bjergsen. He had never seen it before, remember?
And he was like, this is pretty good.
He's like, this is pretty damn good. I'm going to play this now. So doesn't need the Storm Raider Surge, and ends up taking it from him.
He talked about all-in trades with the Maokai. Courage is of his own. So
Yeah.
A bit of shield to go in, but this should be a very painful lane phase, because to me, this should be Brand basically being able to 1v2 the side here. Obviously doesn't want to eat multiple auto attacks from the Ezreal, but otherwise, he might actually be the pressure in the laning phase to just get Vayne through it.
Yeah, and the fact that it is a Vayne lane that has double ranged against a melee in it, that's really favorable for the Vayne. They'll get her to that mid-game. Vayne doesn't spike like she used to. She's a one-item, two-item spike champion very, very early on. We saw it earlier where she got like a 600 crit plus the true damage bolts on top of it at 2 items. Like, that is absurd to actually have that much damage that early. She's really the only AD carry that can have those types of crits off a tumble.
And I'm a bit skeptical about the switch over to the Cannon in top, just because Fiora traditionally has done well in these sort of matchups. This is actually a matchup where, especially if we talk about 2 items, let's say a lifesteal item like, for example, Ravenous Hydra into QSS, Cannon can't really do anything. He can only run away. The all-in will not kill. You get a lot of value in this matchup out of Riposte as well. So I'm skeptical. Now, Ziv is a fantastic top laner. He's looked good this tournament, but it's a pretty big gambit to actually swap in the Cannon against specifically Fiora.
Yeah, the Fiora is a really frustrating matchup. A lot of matchups into Cannon like Fiora and also Aurelia go really well for the Fiora once she hits one item, and Kennen just, you're going after Proto Bell, not very good in terms of the effectiveness of that versus whatever she's going to pick up.
You get ganks, you get a couple of kills, you teleport out, it works out, but if you just kind of lane to lifesteal item, it's painful times.
Yeah. Now, with all that in mind as well, we were looking at the top lane, and Ziv did get the upper hand. It froze in an awkward situation for QTV, and he got poked down. So he'll go back to base, teleport back into the top lane now, and the wave is still frozen there.
But he also teleports back in with a Ruby Crystal. This is where it's a complete waste unless he gets something for this, because if he's TPing into this wave, now he's going to walk up, pick it up, he's going to have to waste time because it's slow pushing back towards him. And it's like, just count how long it takes for him to actually pick up a CS here. Whereas maybe he could have been able to walk it.
I mean, lane control's definitely been one of Ziv's strong points for a long time. This guy is certainly a colossus in his own region, and one of those top laners that we've wondered how he would do in LCS regions or in other regions around the world. So, re-signed though, so he is committed to AHQ for at least another couple of splits.
Levi looking for a gank in the mid lane. We saw him earlier in the all-for-one mode, put on a clinic. He's going to come in here, land the Q onto Maple, follow after as well. With the flash and with the Tempest, might be enough to finish off Maple here. He gets the shield. Will he be able to get away? There's a reaction from the bot lane. Levi, he will have to back off as Optimus is there. But Carter, he wants blood. He wants first blood, and that will go right to the grave.
Sometimes you want the kill so badly you flash into a smoke screen. That's one of those times.
But there's also greed, and there's very obviously 2 to 3 members coming to back up the enemy.
I didn't say it was good.
Yeah.
I just
the greed
there are
there
times.
was kind of insane from the side of GPL. They're feeling the pressure. They know they have a snowball lineup, but when you look for a snowball and reach too far, you kind of fumble what you had already, and it may start the cavalcade for the LMS.
Exactly. Now he ends up taking up the jungle there. Karsa goes after the Wolves, goes after the Gromp. Now he has a way into the back. We'll see if he actually goes for something on the bottom.
So LMS starting this one off strong with that first blood. Top lane going well as well for Ziv. 10 CS advantage as he shoved this one into tower against QTV. We should probably visit the bot lane again as well, because we saw at the very early stages of that laning phase, Ron OP was landing a lot of good pillars onto that bottom lane, but baby, he was focusing on hitting those minions, shoving it into town. Right now, it's an even lane.
I mean, it's a pass mark for Vayne, though. Yes. Any lane where Vayne goes even or ahead is certainly happy times for the Vaynes, so not too much to focus on there. Levi's top really needs some help here, QTV, because the early laning phase, range versus melee, you can see how it goes.
He's got to be careful, because Ziv is going to hit 6. Ziv is going to try to kill. Nope, not going to actually go all the way in. So yeah, just kind of sticking around there. And now QTV with no teleport, with a Ruby Crystal, and the fact that Ziv hasn't backed, Ziv gets full priority here. He could choose to use his TP to go to another lane with his ultimate. He can keep him under turret, try to keep pressure here.
There's Alvis going into the bottom lane.
This is what it is. Karsa's being called to the top side, underneath turret. Easy kill here onto the Fiora if you're able to get it there with the Graves, who's a level 6 as well. And this might be a surprise.
Oh, he's going to find his way over the wall. How's it going? Levi, he desperately wants these, and we'll get a couple there with the Tempest, but Karsa will finish the rest of the Krug camp off, and QTV will head all the way back to his inner tower there. Did not want to be in kill range. Bot lane Ron OP low on mana, but was trying to find a combo onto BB. Albus just jump in there. Ron, very low celebrity, trying to find this kill on the Vayne. He's going to flash forward. The Ignite is ticking. Last auto attack is not quite enough. TF now coming in to try and save the day, but Optimus a little too late to the party. And there's the teleport you're talking about, Zirene. Ziv coming in from the top lane, finding the kill onto Optimus.
You can see what Optimus wanted to do. The reveal was actually relevant given that Ezreal was juking into the brush. But by the time he'd committed, he'd gone too far. Kennen in the right spot. He had the teleport. QTV, who used it much earlier, still doesn't have it up and might actually spill over into a blue buff steal as well.
Yep, and they might be able to actually just sit around and give this over to Maple, which would be huge for them, because he'll pick this one up, and then there's another one that's about to spawn for the LMS.
Yeah, the tier's stacking up as well, so happy times for the LMS. And we're going to see the replay. When they use everything on Ron OP, you think in your head, okay, Vayne's going to chase down, but notice, Vayne is level 5. Level 6, this goes differently, and although the vision helps, Vayne just dies to the Maokai Q, and then it's a cannon with plenty of items.
Yeah, would have been dead anyway, and the fact that they just keep chasing him down the lane is the big part there. Got really greedy for that kill, but that will give Vayne a large power spike in this lane with the items that he has. Hold on, here comes the ulti just to zone and push him back.
Oh man, Optimus putting close in from every single angle. There was no way to get out. Perfectly executed from LMS.
That was so good. I didn't see Albus coming in there either. Just delivered Albus in on the left side. Maple's coming up from the front, and then they have Karsa in the back.
But it's moves like this, and also the nice flank teleports they've made in previous games where you're like, I wish I could see this week in or week out now. That would certainly monopolize a lot of talent in the region, so perhaps not ideal there, but QTV trying to make something of this.
Levi was trying to set him up for it, but he initiates the grand challenge, but doesn't really want this challenge anymore. He'll jump back towards Maple, flash over the wall for the disengage.
I mean, he uses his flash. It didn't even have a phage, from the early game, so wasn't going to have damage to do much there.
Oh, Run finding a nice full combo, of course, igniting that passive blaze as well on top of Albus, chunking him down, so it's a little punish there as he tries to make his way back into lane.
And now the question becomes, is there a world where Fire can bring it back? And usually you don't say that at 8 minutes into a game, but we went over and over in the fact in the draft, feast or famine, and the famine started early.
We cast UOL versus Flash Wolves. It
wasn't as sad as this game.
There's been a lot of times where
it was much more sad.
We're like, this is rough. This is really rough.
That was 9-0. That was a different thing. That was 4 people dying at level 1. This is certainly some more optimism, but it's just checking in with the fact that we noticed the draft, we knew the potential things went well, and we have to check in and say, hasn't gone well.
Exactly. It hasn't gone well. The way they come back is off of Celebrity. I think he's the one that would be carrying this game. Optimus 0-3, so, CS isn't going very well in the top lane for Fire, but Optimus in the mid lane, he has been feeding a little bit here. He has been focused out. Karsa and Maple have done their thing where they team up and they keep going after him. And that's what happens when they have both Flash Wolves members being the jungler in mid with that legendary combo.
And the item build certainly is the emergency, right? CDR Boots, certainly a normal rush for the Twisted Fate with Coast Flash, but Negatron Cloak, you desperately want Sheen for the cooldown reduction and just for the trades. I mean, you're ganking for a no-damage mid laner.
Here comes Levi once again, connects the ultimate into the Q, trying to keep him outside of that circle, but I'm out of there. Goodbye, see ya, nerds. Maple, he is being chased down by Optimus. He just has the damage coming out as well, but Costa's there to save him. Flash away defensively, collateral damage for the kill. And Levi desperately trying to escape, but we've got the bot lane reacting now. Here comes Albus, the flash, the twisted advance, make that the double kill for Costa.
And I was just saying, you're ganking for a no-damage mid laner. The mindset was to pull back. By the time he committed, didn't have the damage to finish it off. The mid lane and the jungle were not on the same wavelength, and it puts them even further in the hole.
And the Infernal Drake going to go over to Karsa here, and now the LMS. Oh man, right now it's looking pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Well, you know what's bad? When you look at the enemy jungle and you're like, how many of our guys does it take to kill the 4-0 Graves? The answer's probably 2 to 3.
Yeah, actually, when Graves gets going, he really does do so much damage. He's so hard to take out here. Maple takes a lot of damage on his shield there. The Courage of the Colossus did come out.
But you just see Optimus, right? His first instinct is to pull back. Then he's like, okay, my jungle did quite a lot of damage. I'll go in as hard as I can. He doesn't have a Sheen. Would it have been the difference? Maybe not, but Sheen and Namtone, I think it would have been a different mindset. They would have actually committed fully for the kill, and instead, they just give over a couple.
If I had to give it to any player on the GPL to try and carry this game, it would have been to Levi. He put on such a showing earlier. He's been incredible in the IWCA and just a generally good member of the team, but he just hasn't really been able to make those plays this game because they just all went awry.
I mean, he's completely warmed up on Lee Sin, but maybe it's a little bit different when not everybody else is Lee Sin placing wards for you and hopping in. But I know that he definitely is a very good player, but they have to kind of stall, let Celebrity scale up, let QTV get back in this game. So he's completely out of this game right now. He almost has double the CS. Oh, this is Karsa with a counter. I
feel like I've seen this one before. Levi coming in, but this time the Graves is massive. Gets the kick onto Karsa into the tower, but there is no towers. Maple takes it out. Optimus blasted point blank by the collateral damage. QTV initiating the grand challenge in with the riposte, but it was mistimed on the predict. Doesn't get the launch damage. Maple, he's up against the wall, prevents the final vital from being cut. The extra damage from Q finishes off his opponent in the bot lane. Albus coming in with the ultimate, the Ventral Maelstrom, maybe taking so much from Celebrity. One more auto attack secures the kill. Albus moving on to Ron OP. Nice arcane smash to finish that one off. But now Ziv, He smells blood in the water. Celebrity trying to escape through the enemy jungle, but the flash and the extra damage from the Proto Belt as well means that will be an early grave.
And it's a delayed ace overall for the side of the LMS. They managed to take everyone down. The mid lane was just a disaster, no other way to put it. Karst is so smart, sitting out of vision. No one can see, and Levi's like, finally, an overextended rise.
Yep.
Sorry, Levi.
Yep, they knew the cleanse was down, so that's where he would end up going after the gold card is locked in. And you asked the question, would Machine make the difference? Right there it would.
Yep.
It would have been the difference. Karsto would have been dead, and then that wouldn't have been a complete cascading effect that now leads to a bottom lane turret.
Oh boy.
Karsa is gigantic. 5-0-1. Levi tried the play again, and this time he basically got one shot by him. Oh, Ziv is just in the enemy jungle. Yeah, he's found Run OP. He doesn't have the stun up just yet, but he even burns the ultimate, adding insult to injury. Celebrity does find the stun against the wall with Condemn, but Maple being there, not a fight that Celebrity wants to take up.
He didn't even have to use the Proto Belt that he has in the inventory for a little bit of extra burst. He had that for an escape in the future, if necessary, and this is kind of the silly season at this point. This is the game very much just almost being completely out of reach. We're talking about almost 10,000 gold. It's about 8,000 at 13 minutes in, which after all the changes to gold snowballing in the 2016 season lets you know that this certainly is completely out of the way for the GPL squad.
Yeah, for sure, it will be an uphill struggle. We said this at the start of the game, we said it in Champion Select that someone's going to have to go off, and it is still in Celebrity's hands, but trying to face down Maple when he's doing exceptionally well in lane, Karsa's massive, Ziv is one-shotting the support.
Well, Ziv also got a Void Staff, so there's pretty much no hope here when you're inside of that Kennen ultimate. With the Proto Belt, 2 items. He has 2 items when QTV hasn't completed 1. He's still sitting on components.
And Optimus has got a couple of Dorans and an Amp turn, so that's pretty cool.
Yes, he's got that going for him.
That's what I would call that.
Celebrity, he's 1v2 in the bottom lane. We saw the damage that Reckless could do yesterday on this pick, but slightly different circumstances. It's Karsa and Maple pushing down this bottom tower.
When you're up against a Vayne, having 2 point-and-click CCs on your team is everything you need!
Oh, yep. Oh.
I like the disappointment in your voice, Pauls.
Well, I mean, I was looking to him to be the carry of the team, for him to go off, and then he just kind of got blasted. The tower.
Is that your GPL bias coming out?
Yeah, GPL coming out here, mate. Maple being kicked into the tower. Run OP, can he get the kill? No, he cannot. Finally shut down Albus and Karsa. 2 men against the world. Run OP, he's very low, but Optimus trying to find a kill and return onto Karsa. Wild Cast lives up to its name and finds a kill. DB in there at the last minute as well, a 2 for 2.
But this game, you can see Ziv topside takes a turret during all of that. 5 on 4, still ends up going even. Still, LMS, they're getting further and further ahead. They have a kill a minute. They are just on fire right now. 15 minutes in, 10K up, and it's just going to get worse with this turret going down. Top lane, Minion Waves is up there as well.
But kind of the amazing thing is the first slaughter of the tournament, true slaughter, which is what we're seeing here, is in LMS versus GPL.
There was the LMS versus NA yesterday.
Look, NA content. But
we don't forget
of some slaughters.
QTV blown up by Ziv, but that was the end of his ultimate before he jumped onto Levi and Run OP, and they will clean up the mess in the top lane. So at the very end, that was a 1-for-1, and that was the 2 assists over to GPL. So it's looking up.
Having assists
there's only
back
one
to
way,
kill.
guys. There's only up for the side of GPL.
Happy mode casting engaged. Right there. Ends up going straight after Maple gets kicked in. Doesn't get that last Q onto Ron OP.
Just a lack of damage, honestly. People like Optimus way behind in terms of itemization. Going Negatron Cloak as a Twisted Fate usually doesn't mean much because his base stats are so low that he doesn't really have the health to interact with the the magic resist, and now he has an Abyssal Scepter, which his wildcards very much outranges the Abyssal Scepter aura, so it's kind of an emergency purchase he was forced into.
And it doesn't help anybody else on his team. It feels bad now.
Uh-oh. Albus going in for the initiate. Levi goes in. Levi goes out. Back to base. QTV trying to get out of the way as well, and we'll have to hobble back to that spawn pad.
But we've been talking about how good the LMS have looked. Albus yesterday on the Sona, even today on the Maokai going for the redemption. They just look so good right now. And they're going to the left side. They're going mid.
Hey.
Duked.
The old switcheroo back into the mid lane, taking that one out, just styling on the GPL right now.
Well, Maple was one of the most creative users of the Rise ultimate back at World when we were first seeing the champion come out, besides Exile in the EU LCS, and they started getting picked up there by the end. But he's been very good with that ultimate.
And it's a skill cap that hasn't really been explored. Most people use it pretty predictably, but I love the people that fake it out, you know, that don't take it or take it for a rotation in this case. Really cool to see, and it's something that will continue to be developed as we see more Rise. Because guess what, guys? Judging by games like this, and of course, just where Rise is, you know, another Rise rework, another
very
Rise
high
OP situation, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, he's going to be around until that next rework that we have scheduled.
Yeah. Fourth time.
Is that 6 months from now? Or?
I'll keep you in suspense.
Thanks.
Let's get back into this one as Elvis finds another kill. The point and click into death on the Civ annihilates the entire lineup of GPL. That was disgusting.
Cannon, baby, right into the back line. It's not even 20 minutes yet. They can't survive. They have families. They can't even surrender.
Well, at least Optimus found one kill. Pad out that scoreline. There you go. Good job. But this is 18 minutes in. As you said, they can't even FF. Albus onto this tower, the rest of his team.
This is going to be one of the fastest games of Professional League of Legends ever.
And LMS moving on to the Nexus here. Only Optimus to stop them. And they annihilate the GPL in 18 minutes.
Exactly what Team Ice was looking for in this matchup. We expected LMS to come in favorites, but GPL threw down the gambit. They went for the snowboard choices, the Fiora last pick, the Vayne Brand bot lane. And actually, you have to say the biggest defender, Optimus in the mid lane on the Twisted Fate. They didn't get it done. Really, really clean stuff from the LMS. They may have fallen down to the LCK, but they had chances in that game to take it. Lost a team fight and lost it. And then the next two, they've looked really good.
Oh, yeah. The absolute slaughters, like you were saying, the fact that they gave an LCK the run for their money, absolutely crazy. And we were talking about this squad from the LMS. This really is their all-stars. This really is, pound for pound, the best player in each role in that region.
And you're on stage, looking very happy with that win, as they should be. The fastest win of the tournament by far. 18 minutes, just under 19 minutes there. And I think you really hit the nail on the head there at the champion select point, even Papasmithy, when you were saying this is either going to go well or be a complete disaster for the GPL.
Yeah, obviously you can use your intuition to work out which of those realities happened. When the meta slowed down, we didn't think we'd see pre-20-minute game finishes. They're very much a rarity, but just a complete slaughter by the LMS.
It is a little bit easier to get into those inhibitors, though, without the laser. That's the only thing that I can see really stopping
Really,
them
the
without
laser was going to be the big answer there,
It was going to be the big thing, man.
Oh,
Can't
bring
die
back
with
the
it.
laser.
Bring back the laser.
Laser nerf GPL.
Make it slow again, you know, do all that great stuff, but no. That's like the only thing I can even think of, because there's so much going in favor of having longer games, of having things stalled out, and they only had, I believe, one Drake with them as well, so it was just a very, very quick game and all business there for the LMS.
I mean, we can keep talking about how hard they got smashed this game, but when we were looking at the GPL, we weren't looking at their prowess for the 5v5s. It was like they're going to do well in these fun game modes, and we saw them in the 1v1 tournament. Multiple members on that lineup have done exceptionally well. QTV was pulling above his weight class, honestly, in a lot of his 1v1s, so we weren't really looking at this. It was down to Korea to find them the points on their squad, and the GPL, they just had to look at those fun game modes and find the points that they could.
Worth knowing that the 1v1s, of course, went away from, I believe, only one member still, Levi, left in the 1v1s.
Which is still pretty good.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, NA has one left, EU has one left.
All wildcards.
You just, like, everybody in this room, just burn them all.
Korea's pretty good.
It's true. That's true. They do have, who do they have left? They have
Smeb.
And that's it. Korea has one left, too.
Korea's a wildcard.
Hey, there you go.
Confirmed.
If everyone's a wild card, who is really a wild card? That's the true question.
NA and EU thinking right there.
Well, we've got to keep it alive somehow because of how all this has worked out. Either way, guys, let's head back to the analyst desk to break down that win.
Thank you.
Great after game analysis there.
After banter. Thank you so much, Paul. Well, we are going to look about. We are going to look at the pick and ban because there were some crazy things. The teams are definitely getting a bit more comfortable. They're playing around here and there, but you guys thought the brand made some sense. And then the Maokai support, I do believe that's something we've seen a long time ago, but what did you guys make of it?
Personally, as an analyst, it actually disappoints me quite a lot when I see teams kind of have fun with the picks in a serious tournament like this, because I think every other team so far has actually been super good in the pick and ban phase. And as a former world champion, Peke, when you see like a pick like Maokai, it's kind of disrespectful.
No, I agree completely, because I don't know, we as Team Ice, we were having these meetings to discuss what we want to play every day pretty much.
Yeah.
And this really goes against it, because we didn't approve the Maokai, we didn't see the Maokai screams, and it's just shocking. We are lucky we got to win at least. You couldn't take it serious. I was not laughing.
I tried.
All right.
We
on
like
a more
the Maokai.
you like the Maokai. What else did you like from the time of LMS?
I mean, I liked everything in this game except for Optimus and
I like
TF. That one was rough.
Optimus is not from LMS.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, except for, I mean, on the other team. But listen.
The Fisher lost it.
That,
Rare sight, the Fisher not knowing what to say.
I'm just going to say the TF didn't
fine.
work out. It didn't work out.
No, it didn't work out. Of course, you don't want to flame him when this are players.
I just
from
say it
the
didn't work
GPL
out.
region.
You know, the
It didn't
TF, not
work
the
out.
player.
And LMS was super strong, and one of those people who was really strong. You guys talked about it before, that jungle mid combo. And welcome to the jungle. We got fun. And Graves brought to you by Acer. Karsa was all over the map early, and you guys were talking about Graves as a jungle champion. Maybe not that fun, but very effective.
Well, Pega thinks he's very fun to play.
Yeah, I mean, I like AD carries in general, you know. That's always my dream to play AD carry.
Definitely.
So Grace is one of them
Yeah.
too. Look at the damage.
What about
kill,
Karsa?
least assist, and most
Look,
death
look.
as AD carry in summer. It's expected.
Shut up.
What do you think about Karsa?
I mean, he's playing really good every game. Like this game obviously was harder to really know the level of anyone, but in the other games that I saw, I think he was a great jungler. Like he was surprisingly good.
Yeah, well, Karsa has had, of course, a very long track record and be good. It does
Oh,
seem
yeah.
that LMS versus GPL might be the biggest discrepancy between teams in a tournament.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair. I mean, we said it before the game as well. Like LMS has this, like super all-star lineup, like the absolute best teams or best players that could even put on a team from the LMS, and
Just like Europe.
just like Europe. Exactly, yeah, with all-star mid lane.
This is weird. I've never seen the Fisher so out of sorts.
I know what it is.
You.
It's because I don't have pants. I think
Yeah,
he's getting nervous.
no.
all the
I'm
time.
trying not to look down, but every time I'm like, oh, it's
fine.
so hard.
Fine.
I'm
Next to you, don't worry. Keep going. I have some notes here if you want me to.
No, we're gonna put something else on screen. We're gonna take a look at the points between Team Fire and between Team Ice, because LMS has raked in some more points for you guys. That's now 500, 450, and because of the way the 1v1s have played out, and you amongst those also being in tomorrow, you have at least 50 points from the 1v1. So you guys gotta win the Assassin mode today, and then also
Next one, yeah.
That's the next one.
And in order for Team Ice to win, we've actually removed Pekka from that mode, even
Yep.
though he is a mid laner. He's going to be here on the desk talking about
And we got Jankos instead. What do you think of that?
Really, guys?
Are you actually mad that you're not playing
Actually, I wanted to play Assassin mode because I don't know. It's way more fun than I had to play Teemo to have fun in that game, you know.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to play Assassin's mode way more. I think it's gonna be more crazy and well.
It can be
Assassin's,
crazy on
you know?
Analyst Desk too,
Yeah,
if you want.
Yeah, let's get some popcorns.
Well, your hair's blonde now. You could just sit there before Jankos, so maybe nobody would notice.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, someone will notice.
Yeah, someone would notice. All right, well, sharpen your blades. When we come back, Assassin mode takes over Summoner's Rift. Don't touch that browser.
Levi, he will have to back off as Optimus is there, but Karsa, he wants blood, he wants first blood. The Ignite is ticking, last order attack is not quite enough. TF now coming in to try and save the day, but Optimus a little too late to the party, and there's the teleport you're talking about, Zirene. Ziv coming in from the top lane, finding the kill onto Optimus. There is no towers, Maple takes it out, Optimus blasted, point blank by the collateral damage. The point and click into death on the Ziv annihilates the entire lineup of GPL. LMS moving on to the Nexus here, only Optimus to stop them, and they annihilate